What's up, nerds? My name is Steve from Flipping the Nerd, and this is my top 10 favorite clowns. Who doesn't love clowns? They are awesome. And I wanted to do a list to kind of show off my 10 favorite clowns of all time, and a few honorable mentions, as I tend to do. Before I get to it, I just want to say that this list is dedicated to my good friend, Gabby. She is the biggest clown fan that I've ever met, so I know she'll be thrilled that I'm doing this list in her honor. So Gabby, this one's for you. Not much else to say. I mean, obviously I like clowns. I got, Captain Spaulding's autograph up here. I'm wearing a Killer Clowns from Outer Space shirt from Halloween Horror Nights last year. I got this one, who we're going to talk about at some point on the list. So let's get into my honorable mentions. The first one I want to talk about is Grimm from Quick Change. Do you remember Quick Change? It's a story of Bill Murray who dresses up as a clown to rob a bank and then tries to get out of New York to get away with his $1 million that he got. It's the only movie directed by Bill Murray himself, and I really liked his clown outfit. He's got like bombs trapped on him, which you'll see in the pictures I put up. And it's a good comedy. It also has Dennis Quaid and I think Gina Davis as his kind of accomplices. It's a movie I don't hear much about though these days, but it was a pretty solid film, like a good Bill Murray comedy as they were back in the 80s. So if you ever get a chance to see the Quick Change movie, I highly recommend it. And of course, it's got an amazing clown in Grimm, so check that one out. Then we have the clown from Clown. So Clown is a movie, it's a horror movie, where a guy dresses up as a clown for his daughter's birthday party, and then I don't remember why, it's been a while since I watched it, but the clown outfit like starts transforming him into a clown. Like he has a hard time getting the nose off and the hair and stuff like that, and then he slowly like becomes a creepy clown until he goes full like balls to the wall nightmare fuel clown. And it's a pretty decent movie, not one of the better clown movies, which is why it's only an honorable mention and not my actual top 10. But if you like clowns and you like kind of a unique take on the clown horror genre, I guess you could call it, I would recommend watching. I don't remember if it's directed or just presented by Eli Roth, so take it or leave it. Eli Roth is hit and miss for me, but still worthy of an honorable mention for this list. Then we have Ronald McDonald. See, it's not all creepy clowns on here. Ronald McDonald, of course, the mascot of McDonald's, the most popular restaurant in the world. We don't really see him so much anymore. I don't know, did they drop Ronald McDonald from their kind of thing? But when I was a kid, Ronald McDonald was all over the place. His face was all over like the boxes of McDonald's stuff. The toys had a lot of Ronald McDonald stuff with his group like Grimace and the Hamburglar and stuff like that. You always had a statue of Ronald like on a park bench where he's like kind of sitting there and you could sit next to him, take a picture. And kids shows had a ton of Ronald McDonald commercials. Now the reason I put Ronald in here is one, he's super scary looking. Like he is a really freaky looking clown. And my sister, funny enough, had like the worst nightmares about Ronald McDonald as a kid, and she would always talk about it. And all she'd say is like he'd be in the window just like kind of waving. And that would just scare her to death as a kid. And I never forgot that. So Ronald McDonald, I thought, deserved at least an honorable mention on the list. Then we have something totally different. The Insane Clown Posse, which is Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. Do you guys know what the Insane Clown Posse are? They're these two rappers that dress up in clown outfits and spray Faygo, like pop or whatever, at their concerts. A lot of people I think would know more for their pro wrestling that they did. They were in the WWF at the time during the Attitude Era as part of the Oddities. Then they wrestled in other things. They also had their own like ICW, Insane Clown Wrestling, I guess. So it is what it is. And a lot of them know them from their feud with Eminem, which was a big thing in the late 90s as well. I actually used to listen to them. I thought their music was okay, not great. But I did enjoy some of their albums, in particular The Great Malenko, which was their fourth album. They had this really cool thing where They had like a plan for all their albums. I don't remember I think it was like 7 albums or 9 albums or something, and they're each going to be different Joker cards. So the Great Malenko being their 4th Joker card. Then they completed that, and I don't know what happened to them after. They're actually really good interviews. They're surprisingly really down to earth and have some pretty like good things to say. It's kind of weird, but anyway, I thought they were worth an honorable mention. Just to have a singing duo that are complete clowns was really cool. And you'll see that I didn't put Kiss on the list, who were also kind of considered, but I don't know why I never saw them as clowns. As even though they have kind of exact same thing, where it's like makeup and stuff like that. For I don't know what reason that I never saw them as clowns, so that's why I didn't put them on the list, in case you're wondering. And finally, my t-shirt, the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I absolutely adore the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I got to see him at Halloween Horror Nights last year in a scare zone, and they were fantastic. It's one of the best scare zones I've ever seen. The movie is known for being bad, but it's the kind of bad that is really good. Like, I really enjoy watching this movie. And they're going to be at Halloween Horror Nights again this year, but in a dedicated haunted house, which is really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. And the reason that I put them as an honorable mention is because it's more of an ensemble group rather than one individual clown that I liked in the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So I thought it would be more deserving an honorable mention than an actual spot on the list. But I mean, look, I love this shirt. I love it so much I never wear it. Like, I'm actually going to change back into another shirt after the video, because I like it so much. I want to wear it for only special occasions. So that's that. Let's get into the top 10. Number 10. Sweet Tooth from the Twisted Metal series, which was a series on the PlayStation. It might have gotten on other consoles since then, but I know it from the PlayStation. Twisted Metal is a game where a bunch of competitors who are like completely psychotic people, they get into these crazy vehicles and they fight to the death to see which vehicle is the last one. And Sweet Tooth is one of the cooler vehicles that they had in the game. It's an ice cream truck with a giant head of a clown on it, and he's a clown with like fire hair. Very, very cool looking clown. I love the Twisted Metal series when I was I guess it was my early teens that I was playing that game. It's a fantastic series, at least it was at the time, and this character is just so cool looking. I dig his look, I dig his style, and I really dig his car. So yeah, I had to put Sweet Tooth on the list, and a low spot, but at least he made the top 10. Number 9. Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. I've watched Simpsons practically my whole life. I mean, it started in 1989. I was born in 82, so I was a young kid when The Simpsons started, and I watched it all the way till, I'd say, late college. I haven't watched it so much since, but I always appreciate it and like to go back once in a while and watch some episodes. Krusty the Clown is a really cool character and one of the big characters on the show. There are a lot of great stories related to Krusty the Clown. Of course, everything with Sideshow Bob. Those with Kelsey Grammer doing the great voice there. And Krusty the Clown is just one of those really cool clowns. And it's funny because he's got kind of that thing where he's really out there and going when he's on film, but when he's out of film, he's like kind of a washed up actor, and he smokes and he drinks and all that stuff. So I always liked Krusty the Clown and definitely want to put him on the list. Number 8. Art the Clown from All Hallows Eve and Terrifier. Art the Clown is a newer horror icon, and I would call him a horror icon at this point because a lot of people in the horror community talk about him and are excited to see what he does next, which is going to be a sequel to Terrifier, I believe. He was played. I forget who was played in the first one in All Hallows Eve, but he's played by David Thornton in the second one in Terrifier. He's a really cool clown. He's silent. He doesn't talk, but in his mannerisms and his looks, he conveys an absolute psycho character. He's very psychotic, very crazy. What I like about him in particular is he's unpredictable. There's this whole scene in a diner in Terrifier that you just don't know what he's going to do next, and that makes him a really interesting character, and I really like that about him. And he's got some pretty cool makeup. He's just he's just crazy. Like, if you watch Terrifier, you'll know what I'm talking about. One that I would recommend for sure to at least check out and see the performance that we get out of Art the Clown. So that's why he's on the top 10. Number 7, Jack the Clown. Jack the Clown is a Halloween Horror Nights icon. What that means is it's a character created for the Halloween Horror Nights event at Universal Studios, both in Orlando and Hollywood. And he's probably the most well-known character that they made up for the Halloween Horror Nights event. Jack the Clown is another kind of really sadistic looking clown. He was the host of Halloween Horror Nights 25, which is one of my favorite Halloween Horror Night years that they've done. He's got a girlfriend in Chance the Clown. Might hear about her a little bit later. And he's just really cool. I got to see a show where he tortures people, and he's really loud and boisterous, and has really cool clown makeup. So I really, really dig his style. I bought a bunch of merch of his when he was there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet him, but because I went to a dinner where you're supposed to meet him, but he wasn't there, which really sucked. But it is what it is. Very cool character. I'm a huge fan of Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, I talk about it all the time. I kind of slip it in all the time where I can because I'm such a big fan of the event. So that's that. Jack the Clown, deserving of a spot on the list. Number 6, Harley Quinn. The Joker's mistress, girlfriend, partner. I actually don't like her when she's with the Joker, but I do like her on her own. So that's why I'm putting her on the list. Harley Quinn is a pretty cool character. It's nice to see a woman take a clown character and really put her own thing on it. I'm not super familiar with Harley Quinn as much as I am with other characters because I am more of a Marvel guy. I'm not so much of a DC guy, but I have seen her in video games. She was great in the Arkham series. I've seen her a little bit in cartoons, like animated Batman shows, and I know her, of course, from the Suicide Squad, which I didn't really like the Suicide Squad, but I did like Margot Robbie's performance as Harley Quinn in that movie. She was actually probably one of the best parts of that movie. So the character of Harley Quinn is something that's really cool. I always like to see her. She's going to be in a movie called Birds of Prey next year, and I am looking forward to it, just to see different interpretations of that character. Of course, it's played again by Margot Robbie, but she seems to be going in a different direction with it, which is kind of interesting. So Harley Quinn had to be on the list. Number 5, Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story. Twisty the Clown doesn't talk much because he has no mouth, and which is one of his really kind of interesting, unique traits. So he's this big clown who appears in season 4 of American Horror Story, and he's got really disgusting and creepy makeup and a really run down outfit, and he's got a mask for his mouth that shows him smiling, but if he takes off the mask, his mouth is all missing, his jaw is missing, and it's just really, really creepy. He's a fantastic character, one of my favorites, if not my favorite in American Horror Story. All the seasons that came out, he's probably one of my favorite characters, if not number 1. He was only in 2 seasons, unfortunately, and not so much in that second one that he was in, but in season 4, which was kind of the freak show year, he was a fantastic character. I loved seeing every second with him. He's creepy, he's quiet, and he's very unpredictable, kind of like Art the Clown was, but in a more subtle way. Except when he goes crazy, and I love that. So, Twisty the Clown, yeah, one of my favorite clowns. Number 4, Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses and oh my god, sorry. And what was the other one? Oh my god, Devil's Rejects, and he's going to be in 3 from Hell sometime later this year. Captain Spaulding is a really cool character. He's kind of just this crazy guy who, I don't even know why he's a clown, but he runs this store that has a ride in it that he show off in House of a Thousand Corpses, and he's really rude and he's really vulgar. and he's just an awesome character. And I would even say that if you watch House of a Thousand Corpses, at least on DVD, I don't know if it's the same on Blu-ray, the DVD menu is the best menu I've ever seen in any film ever. It's just Captain Spaulding looking at the camera and giving you shit. And he does such a fantastic job of it. Like, I actually feel uncomfortable watching him. And that is something that really rarely happens when I'm watching a horror. So to get that feeling from him just looking at the camera and talking to you is fantastic. He is played so brilliantly, and I absolutely love seeing him in movies. So I'm looking forward to Three from Hell to see what he's going to do next. I met him, one of the first horror celebrities I ever met. So that was very, very cool as well. So Captain Spaulding is one of my absolute favorites. Number 3, Chance the Clown, which is the other Halloween Horror Nights icon that is on this list that I talked about before, because she is like the kind of girlfriend to Jack the Clown. Chance the Clown was the icon for Halloween Horror Nights 26, and the reason I prefer her and put her so damn high on this list is because I just absolutely adored meeting this person who played her when I went to Halloween Horror Nights that year. As you can see right now, I'm wearing a hat of Chance the Clown, and you'll see in the pictures that I put up of my kind of interactions with her. She was fantastic, just a really good actress, and everything that all the videos that came out of her and all the shows that she did, she's just absolutely insane. It was like seeing kind of what Harley Quinn is, but in person, and that's why I think it's higher on the list than Harley Quinn was. I adore anything that Chance. I buy all the merch that Chance has. I get obsessed with certain characters, like the nun, Valak or Reagan, and and now Chance. I don't know, there's certain characters I'm just drawn into more than others, and Chance was definitely one of them. I hope she makes a return to Halloween Horror Nights one year, hopefully next year for Halloween Horror Nights 30, so that would be really cool. If you get a chance to look up, of course, no pun intended, if you get a chance to look at some of the footage of what she's like and stuff on YouTube, I would highly recommend it. She's just really cool, creepy, crazy, and I absolutely dig it. So Chance was definitely going to be on my list. Number 2, Pennywise the Dancing Clown from the It series. It being a Stephen King novel, and which was adapted into a TV miniseries in the 1990s, and of course 2 movies in the 2010s. I find that both performances were very good, so I don't really prefer one over the other, the 90s version or the 2010s version. It's just a matter of being the perfect Pennywise for their movies, and that's why Tim Curry's version was great for the Tim Curry version of It, whereas what's his name, something Skarsgård, was the perfect version for his movie of It. So it's hard to have a preference. Of course, just nostalgia to Tim Curry's version, whereas the other one is a newer film, but I adore both performances. Pennywise is just an absolutely hilarious and crazy clown, and I always loved watching him. I think the movies, the original miniseries, was good for the first half, but pretty bad for the second half. Hopefully the second series is better for the second half. I don't know, hasn't been released at the time of this recording, but Pennywise is a fantastic character, and I like all the interpretations of him, and that's why he's so high on the list. Number 1, the Joker, the Crown Prince of Gotham. The Joker is the ultimate clown as far as I'm concerned. He's been played by multiple people over multiple films, and actually getting his own film in October of this year. The Joker, every time he's on screen, I enjoy his performance, except in Suicide Squad. I thought Jared Leto's Joker wasn't that great, But all the other Jokers were fantastic, from the 1960s Batman to the 1990s Batman to the Nolan Batman to the kind of newer version that they're doing for the Joker film. I've only seen a trailer, but I dig the trailer. I dig his look. The Joker is just an amazing character. Of course, the video game, Mark Hamill, and the animated series, Mark Hamill does such a fantastic job voicing the Joker. The Joker is just a really cool character. He's smart, he's cunning, he's crazy. I just absolutely love every interpretation of the Joker that's ever been. And I'm not even that big of a DC fan. I do like Batman in DC, so that's why I kind of gravitated to the Joker, but he's one character that I really, really love in the DC universe. So the Joker is my number one. Who would you say is your number one favorite clown of all time? There are a bunch of other clowns I didn't mention, I'm sure. I didn't go into like real kind of serial killer clowns like Gacy, because I don't really go into that kind of stuff, in case you're wondering. But there are a bunch of other fictional clowns that you could put on this list. And I'm curious to know, who did I miss? I'd love to see more clown films. You know, I'm sure there are clowns that I haven't seen or haven't heard of that I would love to discover. So tell me what they are. Next week, I'm going to do a really big list. That is my top 10 favorite video games of all time. No gimmick, no nothing, just my top 10 favorite video games of all time. This was a very difficult list to do because I'm such a big fan of video games. So I'm really excited to talk about them and tell you guys what kind of gamer I am. So check out that list next week. And of course, if you're on the channel, why not? Go check out all the other lists that are on my channel. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Goodbye.